A lot of people believe that if you've got ADHD, you're sort of inherently more vulnerable to suffering from sort of drug dependency or drug addiction. And when you look at the research around this, there is a convincing argument, in my opinion. This study, for instance, looked at the experiences of 3,200 adults in the United States. And out of that sample, when you look at the group without ADHD, 5.6% of them met the criteria for substance use disorder. But when you compare that to the ADHD group, that went up to 15.2%. So in that sample, you were 3 times more likely to suffer from these issues if you have ADHD than if you haven't. Other research shows that people with ADHD were between 5 and 10 times more likely to meet the criteria for alcohol use disorder. These criteria, by the way, are sort of written up by the American Psychological Society in their publication, the Diagnostic Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders, which is like the sort of rule book that psychiatrists look at when sort of diagnosing people with mental disorders. There is a lot of criticism of it, though. Some people think that they pathologize normal human traits, so they're sort of giving everyone mental disorders, which they don't need to. But that's a debate for another day. Researchers are trying to work out why people with ADHD are sort of more vulnerable to these things, but it could be to do with the fact that the condition could make them more impulsive, can also sort of result in reckless behavior, as well as the people more likely to having novelty-seeking traits. This really reminds me why I think for a lot of people we need to sort of rethink what drugs is and how it fits in with society, because for a lot of people, like potentially the people who have ADHD, then they're often not looking to get high in a sort of selfish, sort of pleasure-seeking thing. It's more like they're self-medicating, which is why I always think it's so important to sort of deal with drug issues in a non-judgmental way, because you don't know why people take drugs